Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not, and we're on the last leg, the final movie of this series. Not another team movie. Now, this is obviously not a real cover. This is, I have the disc, and I just did a copy off the computer when I had a computer at the time. But it has another team movie and Zombieland. And it's one of those generic things where it has a generic background and you get to pick between the movies. So there's no special features, but I had original copy, the regular original cut of this film. It came with a commentary, and the disc got lost because I wasn't taking care of it at the time. This is probably my favorite spoof movie between this and... No, it's probably this. It's probably my favorite spoof film. And I haven't talked much about spoof films. I've done Airplane. And that's probably about it. Because when you are trying to review spoof movies, it's not the easiest thing to do. Because you have to... It's hard to talk about... I go through the movie and I talk about the plot. It's hard to do that when every little thing is a spoof of something. And, I'll try to do my best in this. But, yeah, so... There's that. And then this is like the regular version case that I copied when I had the original disc back in the day. And then I got this and I put it in here. So, this is my first time watching the unrated version. I'm pretty sure it is because there's a bunch of extra scenes in here that I was like, wait a minute, that's not before. That wasn't there before. It kind of makes the film a little more complete to me. I plan on getting the Blu-ray for this because I feel like I want to get the Blu-ray. I think they only have the original rated R cut on Blu-ray, so I'll keep this one if I want to watch the unrated cut. Maybe I'll find a 2-disc case and put it in there with it. I don't know, but so the story of this movie. So first of all, let me tell you how I found this movie. So I saw this movie before I'd seen the movies it was spoofing. Like before I'd seen movies like 10 Things I Hate About You, or even the John Hughes movies it spoofs, like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and 16 Candles, and all that. Before I had seen Weird Science, which is not really spoof, but it's a John Hughes movie. Before I had seen Varsity Blues. Before, any of these movies that are spoofed I had seen, I saw this. I have said before, I had often, when I went to my grandma's house, had late night excursions onto the movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, Showtime. And I found this on like an HBO channel late at night one time. And I immediately thought it was She's All That, which is the one movie I didn't mention in all those, but She's All That, which is one of the main through lines. So I thought it was that. And as it was going along, I'm like, there's something off here. I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is that one movie I saw the trailer for that's like spoofing everything. It's like making fun of it. And yeah, not another teen movie. That's what it was. But yeah, so there's two main movies it takes from, and there's other ones split around. The two main movies it takes from are She's All That and Varsity Blues. The character of Jake Weiler is very much the character of Zach Seiler from She's All That. And Janie Briggs is very much Laney Boggs from She's All That. In fact, it's weird when the names of the original film sound more spoofy than the ones that are in the spoof. Think about it. Jake Seiler, Laney Boggs, or Zach Seiler, Laney Boggs, Jake Weiler, Janie Briggs. Don't they sound more normal than the original names? Like Laney Boggs sounds like a spoof name. And like I said, the main through line is She's All That mixed with Varsity Blues because Jake, much like James Van Der Beek's character in Varsity Blues, blew it at a football game the year before, although they go way drastically with it, with the killing of a mentally handicapped kid, which I don't think was in that movie. I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but then you have, your basic through line. You have his friends, Austin, which is the spoof of, he's actually two different spoofs, but of the same actor. He's Paul Walker's characters in She's All That and Varsity Blues, the same character. So, and he's played by Eric Christian Olsen. And he and Chris Evans were like, ended up becoming friends. he would also be in the movie Cellular, which I think is an underrated action flick. Action thriller, whatever, starring Chris Evans. I'm saying, get on that. It's a good flick. But, yeah, they're best friends, and you have Malik. Played by the always great, can't forget his name. He was in Scream 3. And he was Bud on the Cosby Show. And no, it's not Gus from Psych. It's a different guy. But he's in this. He plays Malik. And he's the token black guy. That's what he's called in the movie. Look, a lot of the humor in this did not age very well. No. But he's the token black guy. And then you have Ron Lester playing Reggie Ray, which is a spoof of his own character from Varsity Blues. Yes, I'm not kidding you. And then you have the whole storyline from She's All That, where the jock's girlfriend comes back from the vacation, she dumps him for another guy, and that whole situation. And then they make the bet. And with this, they go overboard with the choices that they don't pick being way worse than what Janie is. Like, there's an albino hippie chick, there's a conjoined twins, and there's a girl with a hunchback. And they're like, oh, when he gets to Janie, oh, she's got glasses and a ponytail, pin over overalls. Like in real life, she's the least of all these, but that's the point. They're spoofing that, you know. And off the top of my head, what all movies are spoofing this? Well, as mentioned, She's All That, Varsity Blues, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, what else is there? American Pie, I'm trying to think. Cruel Intentions, just off the top of my head that I can name. In fact, the school they go to was called John Hughes High School. You have this character, Ricky Lippman, who is basically Ducky from Pretty in Pink. And now that I've actually seen that movie, I get this character a lot more. I understand what they're doing with this character. He is Ducky, but to the umpteenth level. Like, he is shit on. Like, he is basically professing his love to Janie, and all she can ever say to him is, see you in English. And I want to point out something. So they're at the prom. There's an extended scene that's not in the original cut. But there's an extended scene where she and Austin, because she ends up going with Austin for some reason, walk into the thing. She sees Ricky, and she hands him her shawl, and he hands him his jacket. Everybody piling on. She's like, see you in English. And she's like, well, we graduated. And I'm like, wait, no. What prom happens after graduation? Prom always happens before, like a month or two before graduation, right? And then you graduate. At least that's what mine did. Although I went to a special ed prom, not the real prom. It's a lot less gussier than the regular prom, but it's still fun. You had a theme, right? I'm autistic. So what? You like my content? There's no problem here. We have no problem. Anyway, so, I don't know. That kind of got me. And I can't say I never caught it before because I haven't seen this cut before. There's a lot of extra stuff in this. Like, there's a scene that caught me off guard. Okay, so there's a running joke with the foreign exchange student played by Serena Vincent. Now, the running joke with her in the original theatrical cut is that she's foreign, doesn't understand our customs, so she's naked all the time. Now, Serena Vincent was the yellow Power Ranger in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Being a Power Ranger fan, you get to see how a younger Scotty went, Do you think a Power Ranger actress would get naked? I saw a movie where Amy Jo Johnson was in a bra. Not naked, though. Anyway, also on movie channels. Anyway, so yeah, but in this extended cut, there's more to a running joke. Every scene that she's in, she changes her, not even every scene, every sentence she says, she changes her accent. Like, she has European accent, and in the next scene when she's talking to her, she then has like different accents. Even at the end, there's another scene with her and Bruce, Sam Levine's character, who is supposed to be Asian or not, because at the end of the movie there's a bonus. It's weird. We'll get to it, where they end up hooking up. But then I know the one that from the original cut was that Ox, who is a play on Oz from American Pie, hooks up with Catherine, the sister of Jake Weiler, who's legitimately Catherine from Cruel Intentions. Only they're actually brother and sister here, so it's a little bit weirder. I mean, it's really weird. It's awkward. Where it was weird because they were step siblings, but it's still technically legal. Here, no. It's, you know. But yeah, and then Bring It On is another one that they spoof, where it's the whole thing. I've only seen bits and pieces of the movie, but I know that in that movie there was a plot line where their competition thinks that they stole their cheers, and I know he don't, and they go up there and they basically do their cheers. Well, here they do that, but it's overly obvious because their competition is an all-black squad. So they get up there and they're doing this thing. They even say that they're West Compton Wildcats, which is the opposite team, and they make references. We black, we definitely not white or something like that. It's like, okay, oh no, we ain't white, we definitely ain't white. Break it down, N-word. I'm like, okay, not only is this blatantly stealing from them, it's downright racist, to be honest. And I said N-word, I didn't say the, But yeah, I'm just like, this has not aged at all. There's also a running joke with Reggie Ray. They say he's like 5 concussions away from dying. And by the end of this film, he's dead because they have a big football game from Varsity Blues, and he gets all the rest of his concussions taken out. In fact, he gets an extra one because they're trying to put him on a stretcher and he's too fat. He breaks the stretcher. It's in the background of a scene, that mirrors the scene from She's All That. We're going to talk about that in a second because I have something to kind of complain about. Anyway, but yeah, and then he's not at the prom later, so he's dead. I didn't think about that. I was like, wait a minute, Reggie Ray is... He's like, oh, he has the last concussion. Wait, is he at the prom? I don't think he is because I don't remember seeing him. He's dead. By the way, the beginning of this film has an introduction. Past the masturbation scene. When they get to the school, Josh Radnor, have you met Ted from How I Met Your Mother, has a couple scenes in this movie. He's introducing people. So he's like, oh, we don't discriminate, and we don't corner people off into groups, but let's kind of put you into little bitty groups so that you can get acquainted. And it's basically all the cliques that you would have in high school. Those will be your friends for the next 4 years, and because they're freshmen. And then he has another line where they're at the dance. He's like, I bet you never knew that everyone here is a professional dancer or something like that. I think he has a line at the party too. By the way, there's a thing at the party. They're doing the She's All That thing where she pours water down her dress, but she just jumped in the pool and she's already wet. And I know it's supposed to be a spoof. It's supposed to be funny, but I never got that joke. Anyway, my gripe here. Okay, let's talk about the gripe. Beginning of this movie opens up with a scene from She's All That. So the movies they are spoofing exist in this universe, because later she's watching Pretty in Pink on the couch. However, I have an issue. So she is watching She's All That, and she even says, oh look, there's Freddie. That's not Freddie Prinze Jr., and that's not Kyler Lay. Obviously, the creators of She's All That, when they tried to get permission, they got permission to use Pretty in Pink, because they actually have Mother Ring Model, but she's in the movie later in a cameo, so that's probably why they're able to do that. But either they just decided they didn't have enough money trying to get the rights to that, or they tried to and were told to fuck off. Because it's not Freddie Prinze Jr., it's not Rachel Lee Cook. I think Carla Lake, that's Janie here, but Rachel Lee Cook. It is stand-ins, and what they do is they mess up the TV so it's a little wibbly wobbly so you can't tell, but I could tell. It's not. But I think, if I remember correctly, in the credits, the guy who plays him is like Ross something. But so yeah. I should mention, I think they also spoofed Grease with the Prom song, which there's an extended version, which is on the special features of this original disc that I used to have. But in this version, I'm like, oh, are they going to have the extended version of the song in this version? No. They have some extended scenes, but that's not there. Also, running joke with Randy Quaid playing the character's father. By the way, the only spoof they do of 10 Things I Hate About You, well, there's two actually. I just thought about that. There's the Heath Ledger singing part where he's singing while she's out on the field. Only in this version, Jake is singing Janie's got a gun, so they think Janie has a gun and they tase her. Yeah. And then I mentioned at the beginning where Janie's little brother says, you know, I can't date till you date, which is from that. Yeah. Yeah, the Prom song. I'm like, is this supposed to be spoofing Grease? Because I can't think of any other movies that would do that. It just seems very Grease. It even starts like on a beach or something, and it's very like, I wish I didn't make that bet. That's not the guy I want to be. He's on a swing or something. It's very Grease to me. That's what it seems like. It's like, well, Grease came out in the 70s technically. We don't know these 80s and 90s tropes, but Grease technically was a teen movie, albeit portrayed by 25-year-olds. But still, it was technically a teen movie, so I guess it could count. Again, it's just that song. It's not the extended version because there's more lines between I think it's that. So what? We have the same mother. Tonight I'm gonna my brother. There's something before that, I think. I have to look it up, the extended version. And the reason I want to get the other version on the Blu-ray is because I remember watching my other copy with the commentary on, and it's a great commentary. I suggest it. It's not on this version. You get no special features. It's just a basic version with the unrated cut. And I don't know if the other version with the unrated cut had all that stuff. Because I remember seeing a DVD copy with the unrated cut at Target back when we had one. But by the way, best line in the song is when the foreign exchange student, which is supposed to be a spoof of Shannon Elizabeth's character in American Pie. Her singing line, and that is, "Look at me, my breast are perky, yes." And I'm just like, yes, but you had to put that line. I'm sorry. Like, that's her only thing, is she's naked through the entire thing, and they don't say anything. By the way, the principal is Colonel Sanders. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Colonel Sanders from Spaceballs, another spoof movie. Oh, wait a minute. It's between this and Spaceballs is the better spoof movie. But with Spaceballs, it's pretty much a spoof of Star Wars. So it's more consistent to talk about that movie. But this one goes all over the place. But yeah, so big thing here is that, he makes the bet. The whole thing. It's Catherine in to help him in this one. But what I like here is that they make Austin, who is somewhat of an idiot, kind of smart here. Because he's injured from the game, and he walks up, and I think this is from, I think Paul Walker's character does this in She's Alive. I haven't seen it in a while. Have I even reviewed that yet? I might have to. But anyway, Ain't Never Been Kissed is also one, because, okay, so if you guys know in the comments, there's one spoof I've never been able to figure out. There's a line of dialogue where someone says, I think there's a reporter disguised as a student, and this old lady walks up, she goes, "Oh, where's the way to this classroom?" And you're like, that way, sweet dude. And like, her name is Sadie, so she's supposed to be the character from Cruel Intentions, the virgin chick that has the thing with the African American guy, right? I think that's who that's supposed to be. But also, is that uh, the plot point of reporter disguised as a student? Is that from a teen movie? Is that supposed to be Scream? That was really. I don't remember that from anything, and I've seen a lot of teen movies in my day growing up and stuff. So I don't know, but yeah. So they make Jake smart, or not Jake? They make Austin smart. He goes. Maybe I'll. He has a thing with spelling. He's like 2 words. What does Priscilla think she is anyway? 2 words. Prom queen. Material. And here he's like, maybe I'll tell her a little SECRETP. So he whispers something in his ear, which causes Jake to freak out and confess everything. The problem is, Austin didn't say anything about a bet. He confessed everything, she freaks out and leaves. And he's like, well, I didn't say anything about a bet. All I said was, I'm going to pretend to whisper a secret in your ear. Thus, causing Jake to confess a big secret, thus confirming everything I just whispered in your ear. The whole thing. Jakey about to make some big mistakey. But yeah, and then we get the prom. They did a dance thing. I am candy. I love candy. And so they do this thing. Remember, in She's All That, Zach Seiler and his ex-girlfriend, they both win. Janie doesn't win, but he gets with Janie anyway. I think it's been a while. So in this version, though, Priscilla doesn't win. The ex-girlfriend, Priscilla, played by I can't think of her name. I'm looking right at her. Jamie Presley, standing on the back. I just came up with it. Jake wins, but the Fratelli twins win. And we have good Charlotte singing, "Put your heads on my shoulder." What I do like is there's a part at the prom where you hear, touch me once, touch me twice, I won't go home at any price. I was like, wait a minute, that's from 16 Candles. Now I get it. There's songs. By the way, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't think there's anything in this movie from that except for she's going to be somebody's baby tonight, playing when Jake goes to the airport. Jake, there's a whole thing where Jake and Ricky are constantly trying to get to Janie first. He goes to this hotel. He talks to Malik. And he's like, you know what, Malik, you're very insightful. Oh, really? Because I always want to talk about the repercussions of that. And Jake runs off. He's like, motherfucker. Which kind of reminds me of his role in Scream 2. Oh, you motherfucker, as he's running from Ghostface. I love that. Anyway, he gets to the hotel, and it's Austin and Priscilla, but they're not really having sex. They're just pretending to. Why? Did they know he was going to be there? And then that weird guy that she left him for is recording. I don't know. Little Miss ran home to her daddy. And so he goes back to her house, which earlier we found out there's a giant hole in her house because when he goes to apologize to her for what happened at the party, she's like, how'd you get in here? I deadbolted the lock. And he's like, there's a giant hole in your house. I don't think he's ever from me. I think it's just random. But anyway, he gets there and he finds out from her dad that who's really drunk, because he's been drunk since Vietnam, apparently. Randy Quaid is great in this movie, but there's not a lot of him. And we'll discuss something I have an issue with afterwards. But he gets to the airport, and Ricky, there's an extended scene where he and Ricky actually meet up, which is how Ricky knows she's at the airport, because in the original cut, he just cuts to him running off, and Ricky just shows up at the airport later, and I go, how did he know that? This explains, why did you take this scene out? This makes more sense now. They would know. But here's the thing. He's like, she's at the airport. Oh, all right. And Jake runs out the door, and Ricky goes the other way. Why? Maybe he went out the big hole in the side of the house. Who knows? So he gets to the airport. He has this speech to these people, and they let him cut through. I love this. I love this. He runs through the metal detector. It goes up like, just go. And the next woman walks through it, beeps, and he goes, hold it, bitch. I'm sorry. That's funny. Anyway, he gets there, and he tries to get Jane's attention, but she can't. So being a football player, so there's a thing with a football game earlier where he fucks up, and he tries to do the pass because the joke here is that it's just like Varsity Blues. He's fourth string or whatever, second string, whatever. He's not allowed to play because the coach says, God damn it, too much time. Played by the great Ed Lauder. He's great. God damn it. Basically his whole character right there. Oh, by the way, before I forget, there's a Breakfast Club parody where you have Janie's younger brother Mitch and his friend Alex and Bruce. And basically, they do the pact from American Pie, and then Richard Vernon walks in, still played by the late Paul Gleason, rest in peace. And they basically do the whole, you want another one? No. Good, you got one. You want more? Yes. The whole, like, but here they go a little far, like, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Mother was a hoe. He was a famous clown. Bo. Mitch, stop. That's another one. Another for Ox or for Mitch. And another one. I confuse. But anyway, so he messed up the football game, but he has the wise janitor played by Mr. T, who after his speech they play the A-team theme. But here he's like, okay, you gotta raise your eye on the ball, Jake. He's like a little visage, and he throws it and hits Janie right in the head, and then runs over there to talk to her. And this is a little bit extended, before the extended cut. He's trying to talk to her. He tells her a speech, which is from She's All That. And Molly Ringwald pops up and goes, no, that's from She's All That. And he was like, fine. He says another thing. She's like, that's from Pretty in Pink. Are you sure? I think so. Something like that. And, excuse me. My dinner. And so he just comes up with this whole thing from the heart. And she's like, well, that's from Karate Kid. And I'm just like, what? And they get together anyway. And then Ricky shows up before this, though, trying to do the same thing that Jake did. But they're like, we heard that one. Then he shows up, and there's a running joke where there's this guy, I think it's comedian Kyle Cease. I'm not exactly sure, but there's this guy that tries to do a slow clap. And the first time he does it, he's talked to by Melissa Joan Hart, who has this is her only part in the film. I think maybe because You Drive Me Crazy already came out. Anyway, where was I? She's got the red hair from like the 6th season of Sabrina or whatever it was, or 5th or 6th, whatever. She was doing on WB at the time. Anyway, but she just has that one cameo, and they do mention Melissa Joan Hart later. The commentator at the football game is the coach from Even Stevens. Saggy died or Reggie Rye. Anyway, so there's this running joke where this guy keeps trying to do a slow clap and it's not the right time. And he happens to be at the airport this time. It's like, it's the right time. And as he goes to do it, Ricky does it. He's like, son of a bitch. And he beats Ricky's ass and movie ends. But there's something I want to talk about. So in the original version, it cuts mid-credits back to Janie's house where her dad has 2 pies and shoves them on his crotch, American Pie. But in this version, it cuts and it goes to a diner where you have Mitch, Ox, and Bruce. Bruce is revealed, because there's that extended where he hooked up with the foreign exchange student. Bruce is revealed to not be Asian, of course, that he's been pretending this whole time. And it's supposed to be I think it's supposed to be the scene from American Pie where they're talking about, the lessons they learned, but like, I didn't learn any lesson. I still want to get fucked. And so then that ends that, and that's pretty much it. There's a thing, I think at the end of the credits, there's a blooper where Eric Christian Olsen, it's really a scene that's not even the extended cut. It's like, okay, Austin, he throws a football. It was supposed to be his dad, I think. And he throws a football and knocks it off his head. Not even the extended cut, so it might be like the special features deleted scenes. There's also an alternate ending I kind of want to take a look at. I don't know. But yeah, I enjoy this movie. I do. I'm going to say it's pretty good. But the highest you can go on pretty good without going into to the moon is I feel like a lot of the jokes are dated. You couldn't do this movie nowadays. You could not. No, this movie could not come out nowadays. There's no way. There's too much race. No. There's no way. But I still love it. I do. So I have my ranking left to do, and in my ranking video, I'm gonna talk about a couple things I'm doing for the channel. But other than that, so what are your thoughts on None Other Teen movie? In the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.